Court come to order. Roll call, please.
Judge Deskins.
Here.
Magistrate Anderson.
Here.
Magistrate Johnson.
Here.
Magistrate Murphy.
Here.
Magistrate Robinson.
Here.
Magistrate Dotson.
Here.
Magistrate Barney.
Here. Leo, would you lead us in the pledge? Yeah, right there. Public comment. Come to the podium and commit your name and address, and we're going to have to hold it to at least 10 minutes. So first on the list, we got Brian Morse.
Here, Sheriff Rodney Scott wanted to be here today, but his schedule had him out of town, and he prepared a statement. He asked me to read it. Dear Judge and Fiscal Court members, I come to you today knowing you are faced with a tough decision. I appreciate this opportunity to address the court. The Pike County Sheriff's Office could not function the way it does today without the supplement that the court provides to us each year. We're in desperate need of new cruisers, air equipment, and more. We need more certified deputies in order to give the citizens of Pike County the protection they expect and deserve. But once again, without the supplement that is provided by this court, the Sheriff's Office cannot continue to provide the service at the current level. As you make your decision today, it is going to affect so many people and so many departments in this county. I am confident that this court will make the correct decision for Pike County and its people. Thank you for your time. Sheriff Rodney Scott.
Thank you. Mr. Sanders, you're next. From Phelps.
Jeannie, you keeping time, correct? Just when they get to 10 minutes, just please let us know.
Good evening, gentlemen. Psalm 41 and 1 through 3 said, "Blessed is the man that considereth the poor." That's what I'm here to ask this court to do today, is to consider the poor. The working poor is going to get hit hard with this occupational tax. They don't have no health insurance. They're working. If they get hurt, they're out of work. 5% of the people in Pike County will benefit from this occupational tax, and the biggest part of them are sitting in this courtroom today. 95% will suffer. Those that the county is going to impose a tax on companies, 1%, we all know. And Jagged Earl, you know a businessman, a penny does make a difference. He don't absorb it himself. He passes it on to the consumer. Nobody can stay in business and keep losing money. I want you to take these things into consideration, and I want to remind you some things for you to dwell on. If you've not seen a single mother with 3 kids in the grocery line, and when prices go up every month, always look at their buggy. There'll be 1 or 2 items left in that buggy. If you've never had a mother to call you, and I have, and says, "Have you got any paper towels?" Because I got 2 teenage daughters that I can't even buy sanitary napkins for. People, I want you to consider the poor. I want you to prick your heart, and I hope you go home and you cry, because you've got people with health insurance paid for by the taxpayer, wanting somebody that don't have no insurance, working for minimum wage, to provide you a flex card for your deductible, and to pay dental and vision insurance to go on top of that. Pike County payroll goes up every year. Every year it goes up. Add 15 more seconds on to my time. The reason it goes up, health insurance don't go down every year. Health insurance goes up. cost of living goes up. So if you got health insurance, your health insurance is costing payroll more money every month, every year. So I'm not here to argue with you. I know these things. But don't hold senior citizens hostage for this. Don't hold them that they be here today to defend so they can get their money to run their centers, because they're needed worse than anything else in this county. They deliver meals to poor people. So all I ask you to do, Judge, and all you magistrates, is to consider the poor.
Eugene Gibbs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the court. Tomorrow will make me 16 years with the Pike County Senior Citizens Program. And I've worked diligently for these people. And the reason I'm here tonight is because our senior citizens, stand up, senior citizens, stand up, please. That's what I'm here for. And you can leave that on my time. But I want you all to know that these people right here, all of them that stood up here, when you pass this tax tonight, 1%, these people are going to benefit from it. And I tell you why. Because we're going to keep our senior citizen centers open. We got 8 of them. We got 8 senior citizen centers. And we employ somewhere around 31, 32, Diane, you can correct me on that we employ in this program. Now, these people come in here and they work many, many hours. Their paycheck does not show what they do. They work every one of them. Pick any center you want to go to and you'll find that these senior citizens are in there. You go by at 6 o'clock in the evening or early in the morning, they're in there working. They're not on the clock, but they're in there working because they got a heart. They got a heart for what they want for these senior citizens. They work hard. They earn every dime they get. But if we don't get this 1%, these brothers are sitting along the front and sitting along the sides over here, they're going to lose their jobs. They ain't going to have no job. And these people are the ones that get out here and work, and they buy automobiles. They go to the grocery stores. They have a little fun on the side. They raise their children. But, folks, I want you to realize this court. We need you all to consider this wholeheartedly. I disagree with the guy that I just now followed and a lot of the things he said. I disagree with it. But I want you to know that I'm speaking from my heart. My heart's standing here telling you what I want you all to know. I'm speaking from my heart. Because these senior citizens down here, most all of them know me, and they know I love them, and they know I'll go to the end of the world for them. So I would appreciate that you all consider everything. And please, please, I'm begging you, as I did yesterday, please pass this. Please this. Thank you.
Nancy Taylor. Oh, there you are.
Thank you, Judge Deskins, court, citizens. We're all privileged and blessed to be here. I can recall a time back in 1968 when my dad sat on this court, and the Republicans, all of them except my daddy, went to jail to try to keep from passing a 3% utility school tax. Well, they did what I expect will be done today. After they got tired of sitting in the jailhouse and Dad would carry them the bourbon at night, they came out and they passed and had a budget, as best I can recall. Now, I was part of this Teachers United for Fairness. I was their treasurer a few decades ago when the beginning teacher made less than the beginning neighbors that were picking up our trash, a hard job. Our friends and neighbors, I'm for our working men and women locally. I do not want to see fat cats come in here and take over, private business take over our garbage. I'm for the working man and woman. I'm for our friends and neighbors and keeping control locally. I pray the Lord's leading us because I don't think we're smart enough ourselves to get out of this mess. But now let me tell you, in 1968, when Dad sat on this court, Junior Taylor, Burbage Prater from Phelps, a lot of good men, if memory serves me correctly, they made $360, less than $400 a month. They didn't have secretaries and offices. They did the business out in the county. They didn't have to come into town to big judicial centers, and I love it. I'm grateful. I'm glad we've got it. This court was sitting here drawing about $4,000 a month at least, plus longevity, plus your vehicles, plus your cell phones, plus your out-of-town travel to the Hilton or wherever, a Galt House. That's on the taxpayer's dime. And your big $50,000 vehicles you're riding. Family members whom I love, hired in at $36,000. Assistants. That didn't happen back in the 60s. We have progressively grown it. The sad part is that some of y'all are old enough to retire, and if you'll research it, unless it's changed, your county employees retirement system, CERS, how much is it funded now, John Doug? About 22% down at Frankfurt? We've got serious problems. But, like I say, I think they'll pass a tax. But is it on your bankers? Is it on your bankers? Do you know? Have you even read the darn thing? Is it going to be like Nancy Pelosi, pass the darn thing till you find out what's in it? Is it on your insurance companies that's paying for your flex cards? On another thing, you're paid big money to conduct the business of this county. And you build something with taxpayers' funds on property that doesn't belong to you, it should be falling back on you. Bill inherited this and Bobby Darrell inherited this. I've said too much. I'm grateful to every one of you. Oh, one other thing. Hillman, Bobby, and Jeff. Hillman, you've been to those Public Service Commission meetings. We've been to 2 of them together. I was misquoted, if memory serves me right. What did I tell them about the Appalachian Power? I didn't say Kentucky Power owned them. I said Appalachian Power owned the Kentucky Power plant in Louisa, the part they're shutting down, as well as the one at Moundsville. I hope that they'll straighten that up. God bless you all. I love you all. We're in a pickle here. Read the darn thing. Don't pass something that you don't know what you're doing. Thank you.
Gerald Adams. Yeah.
Good evening, folks. My name is Gerald Adams. I represent Shelby Valley Senior Citizen Center. I come here in hopes that you will give us a little money so we can exist. My wife died after 51 years. I have no place to go eat, so I go out there every day about noon. And from there we serve meals to people in the high-rise that don't have an opportunity to eat every day. So I know I got 10 minutes, but I can spend what I want to on what. But we got some good people up there, and I'd like to see you support us. Thank you.
Thank you. Freddie Lewis.
I'd like to say good afternoon to the Fiscal Court and to all the people that are here. I'm thankful and grateful to be here with you today. I'm here on behalf of my jail. I have 52 employees that works for me in the jail, and we just wanted to come over and tell you that I know that times are hard. We realize that. We realize that, you know, the coal severance tax has really took a plunge in eastern Kentucky. But I also know that it takes money in order to keep our county going. It takes money in order to employ our employees that's out on the road every day. I mean, it takes money to buy the diesel, to buy the blacktop, to buy all the things that we do up and down in our hollers to keep our county progressing. And I want you to know that on behalf of our jail and our jail staff, that we support the Fiscal Court and the decision that you will make tonight in order to keep these programs up and going. We've got a great program in our jail. It's the home incarceration program. I'm looking at maybe losing that program. We've got a K-9 unit that we've started, and he's done a really great job for us. We've got over 42 indictments on drugs so far. We've gone around to the schools with our dog training and education. I'm looking at losing those programs if we don't make the right decision here tonight. I don't think that our county needs to go backwards. Sometimes it's a hard decision when you're an elected official or if you run a business. There's going to be times you have to make tough decisions, Judge. But it's what's best for the people of this county and for the hard-working men and women of this county. And I stand behind my people. I see every day of my life people coming into jail, being incarcerated, being locked up. And one of the reasons why they won't go out, they won't get a job, they won't work, they won't provide for their family, and they're out here running up and down the roads rampant, they don't even pay taxes. They don't even pay taxes. Okay? So let's take care of the people that are taking care of themselves. How will you say about that? I want to thank you for this opportunity, and I ask you, and I want you to know, we do support you, and thank you for the funding that you have given our jail, and we look forward to working with this Fiscal Court the next 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Danny Branham.
How y'all doing today? Guys, I'm here to basically represent myself as a single parent and the people I work with that's also single parents. We really hope and pray that you guys make a decision that's going to help us keep our insurance and to keep us working. And I'm sure a lot of the other county workers here, single parents, they're hoping for the same thing, and we would like to, get to keep our jobs and to keep working for y'all. And you all have done a great job, and I appreciate every one of you. But I hope and pray that y'all make a good decision. But I appreciate you.
Thank you. Noah Case.
I'd like to thank every one of you for being here and everything. I ain't much of a speaker. Lord knows that and everything, but with God's help, I'll do the best I can do and everything. But the reason I'm here for, like The other ones follow me, and everything is on kind of our insurance. This is really a good place to work. It really is. I enjoy working with all the people around here and everything. And you know, we all have our spurts every now and then, but the Lord knows all of them and everything. But the main thing is that, first of all, I would like to ask every one of our county employees, please stand up. And everything. But the thing about it, I'm here to represent them because I know how they feel. Lord, I've spent many a night since this, and just trying to figure out what options I got to go with and everything. My wife's had cancer and everything. And I know with the Lord's help, we'll make it somehow, some way and everything. But I'm here to ask you, please consider all of us out here and everything. We're working people just like these other ones, this and everything. We got families. We don't want to say anything to hurt you. Not at all. Lord knows that and everything. But the thing we're here to represent is us and their family and everything. We got to try to take care of them too, just like you's taking care of yours and everything. So I hope, with the good Lord's help, that you're to make the right decision here today. And we do love you no matter what and everything. God knows it and everything. But I'm here to represent them. I ain't much of a talker, Lord knows that. But I love each and every one of you in here. And I hope with the God's help that you consider us and remember us too. Thank you.
Eunice Ward.
I'm not much of a speaker either, but I represent the senior citizens. I'm a board member at Kemper, and I just want to tell you what we do. We go down to the center and we enjoy each other's company. We talk. A lot of people, you know, they sit at home, look at four walls. It gets them out of the house. We play bingo. We eat lunch. We play cornhole. Some of them plays horseshoe, pool. We're there to enjoy each other's company. We're just like everybody else. We worked. We pay the same thing for bread and milk as they pay for. Some of us are still raising family. I'm still raising a grandchild. So what is it that our seniors can enjoy the last few years that they've got? They need to enjoy it. They say it's a golden years, but I haven't found any gold yet. I'm going to still dig. You people from Kemper, stand up. I thank you. Thank you.
Scrappy Barnes.
Good evening, Fiscal Court people. My name is Scrappy Barnes, and my mother, who was Bertha Barnes, she lived at Myers Tires for about 20 years, till the last 5 years of her life. She lived to be almost 91. Every day she went to the Pikeville Senior Citizens, and at that time they just built Myers Tires. and just started. I believe they charged them a quarter maybe for a lunch. And that was her entertainment. That was her joy. She'd go down every day and meet with her friends, and if she didn't show up, they'd come knocking at the door. Berthy, where you at? So on behalf of the senior citizens of Pike County, I'm a board member for Pikeville, and we try to do everything to make our seniors happy and to smile, and they love to talk to each other and have the time to be with each other. Sometimes this is the only meal they eat during the day. And it's cooked for them. They don't have to worry about cooking. My mom cooked for herself till she was about 87 years old. She was blessed, and I think she did a good job with me. And I've tried to follow in her footsteps. And if you be good to everybody, have a smile on your face, and remember, Jesus loves you, and I'm trying.
Tim Klein.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Tim Klein. I'm from over at Turkey Creek. I've been in the fire service going on 28 years. When we took our cut last year, I believe it was 25% cut, it really hurt. If this tax is not passed and we have to take another cut, we're going to close the doors. We cannot operate. If the departments have to shut down, people's homeowners insurance will go through the roof. Yeah, 1%, yeah, it's a tax, but if this tax isn't passed and your homeowner's insurance goes up, you're going to pay a whole lot more. A whole lot more. That's all I've got to say. Ronnie, you got something?
Yeah, I'm Ronnie Vaughn from Phelps Fire Department. I'd just like to say that when you took the first $6,000 from us, first 25%, we withstood that. You took it last year, and we almost had to close our doors at the end of December. Our power bill in the winter months is running $1,400 to $1,800 a month. Our gas bill for a bay is running $700, $800, and $900. And if you expect us to survive on $18,000, then we'll shut the doors at the end of December. We can't shut them before then, simply because we charge a fire fee. But if you don't give us our money back up to the $24,000 and any extra, then we'll have to close down. I told Doug the other day, if we didn't get any money, or if you took another $6,000, we would shut down before then. We can't stand the cuts. I've talked to 3 or 4 of the fire chiefs in this county, and if they don't get their money back, they're going to be closing down. And who's that going to hurt? Your house if it catches on fire. Who's going to fight that fire? It won't be us, simply because we don't have the gas money. Our gas bill runs anywhere from $700 to $1,200 a month, simply because we're probably the most called on fire department in the county. We do EMS runs, car wrecks, 4-wheeler wrecks, plus the fires. Last year, and I'm president of the fire department now, and secretary, and treasurer. Well, somebody has to do it, and those guys over at Phelps won't let me quit. I'd love to quit. I've been with this fire department since January 3rd of 1960. I would honestly hate to see our fire department closed simply because this physical court 2 years ago voted, part of them, two of them, Bill, you weren't here, and Vonnie over here, wasn't he? The rest of them voted to take a $25,000 or 25%. Why is what I'd like to know, and who made that suggestion to take it? I agree with that. All I'm asking is that you give our money back, put us back to $24,000, because if we don't get our money back, if ISO comes in and inspects the fire department, we'll go back from a class 6, we'll go back to a class 9 or 10. We've got equipment right now that we need to buy. We've got a tanker truck that's got a bad pump on it. It's going to cost us $5,000. We ain't got that money. All I'm asking is give our money back to us, the $24,000 this year. Don't wait till next year. Give it back to us this year so we can survive. And I thank you.
Thank you. Monroe Compton.
Well, this is kind of a hard act to follow, but we belong to Shelby Valley Volunteer Fire Department. We appreciate the court letting us address y'all. Just like he said, I'm pretty well sure everybody's already made their decisions what they're going to do. But if you cut our fire department anymore, we will have to shut our doors in Shelby Valley. We cannot operate just like the expense bills he's talking about. Another thing, 911 office, you can't cut them. We can't get no pagers hardly at all because they don't have the money to do it with. We need to help them, plus we need to take care of the senior citizens. They're the ones out here. We work hard. We've got our class rating down to a 7, and we've never seen an extra dollar for doing that. Once you get your ratings down, you're supposed to improve on your money. Like I said, we've been cut to 25% like everybody else. And one other thing, I want to know, excluding the judge and Brian and Mr. Varney, for the last 8 years, most of these magistrates has been here. Why have they let this get this hand and go to this situation? Why didn't they do something during them 8 years to cut a few little odds and ends? That's my suggestion.
Gypsy Cantrell.
Yeah. What's his name?
Yeah. Oh, I will.
Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Don't fire me if I do.
No.
They're just going to have to, as I say. They're just going to have to blame us.
I want to thank you again for the opportunity to be able to speak here. And I've had about a 14-hour day today, so y'all have to forgive me if I can't speak real well. And a lot of y'all ain't going to like what I got to say. And I'd appreciate it if you'd let me say it, and I'd appreciate it if the chairman would keep order in the room, please, because I can't hardly speak as it is. The only thing that I want to say is just a repeat of what I said before. I'm not venturing off my path. Before I go that, I want to commend you. Y'all took a page book out of my daddy's handbook. You got you a real big crowd cheerleader shirt. You done a real good job. Dad used to do that all the time. But what this is a county government. You all were elected to be stewards for the citizens of Pike County. That means no matter how much or how little money that comes into this county, it's your decision to spend it wisely. I can't jump on Bill Deskins. I'm not going to jump on Wayne T. Rutherford and Bill Deskins before that, and Wayne before that, et cetera, so on and so forth. The fiscal court is the only one that has the responsibility of approving any disbursements that goes out of this county government. Now, one of the things that county government is not is an employment office. Now, I know, a lot of people, excuse me, sir, a lot of people, they've been, everybody gets passionate about their personal lives. I know that. I see it every day. Every day. But it is the taxpayers, and y'all act like the taxpayers is these people out here. Everybody in the county except for the county workers is deadbeats. They don't work. They don't pay taxes. Well, honey, there's a good number of them out there, but they're not here. And they don't pay taxes. But those that do pay taxes, they want their money spent wisely. Now, the only thing, we ain't seen hard times yet. I don't believe. I believe that we got harder times coming. The actions you do today, sometimes you don't see them 5 years or better down the road. If that was not so, we wouldn't be here today with the problems we've got. Y'all, you magistrates, except for, I can't jump on Bobby yet. Give me time. But y'all ain't been very good stewards. Now, Nancy touched on a subject, and this is what I mentioned when I was here before. I find it hard to dig down in my pocket and give money out, and I can afford to pay this. And a lot of people's you question me about my loyalties to working people, and I got them, but I got my loyalties as far as their paychecks too. And I am a citizen of this county, irregardless of what's been spread around. I ask you to dig into your pockets. You all have not offered up one dime yet. I have asked you on numerous occasions. I asked during the meeting when I spoke. I talked to several of you individually. You make $48,000 a year. You got a secretary. You got an office, pays utilities and phone service. You got a county vehicle with a gas card. This county also pays insurance on that county vehicle. There is medical insurance and retirement involved for you and your employee. Some of you employ your families in those offices. Now, when it comes hard times, don't reach out in somebody else's pocket if you ain't willing to get in your own, and don't say 1%'s getting down in yours. I want every one of these people to work. Every one of them. I'd like to see everybody in the United States of America that wants to work have a good, decent paying job. I'm pissed off over the TPP. That give away how many jobs? And I voted for that man. I like him more than I dislike him. But that was wrong toward working people. Quit taking what we've got and putting it somewhere else. Senior citizens, honey, I'll kill over a child or an old person. I took care of my mother and daddy to their dying breath. And I was at their bedside both times. I've donated to the Senior Citizen Center in Elkhorn City to help them during bad times. They fed my uncle. Now, you all do the right things. Take out of your pocket. If you're going to ask everybody else, take out of your pocket, combine these offices so that you have some additional money to spread around so these people can have their insurance. They can have their jobs. Help toward that. That ain't going to pay it, but that'll help. And that's what I'm asking you to do, because this county ain't an employment office. So I'm done.
TJ Littifix. Oh, TJ. Boy, there's so much excitement here today, I thought I felt the ghost of Sterling Eddie Harris. I'm glad for all this civic participation, no matter which side of this issue you're on. This is what being a good citizen is all about. Judge Deskins and the members of this fiscal court, I decided to come here today because I believe very passionately that some people are asking themselves the wrong question. What I believe the right question is does 100% of Pike County deserve a consistent quality of life? Because if it does, you 7 men will implement this measure here today. This tax has a lot more to do with the over 200 men and women who stomp the grapes but do not drink the wine that work for this county. And don't you think for a minute that these families, that these county workers support, that their hard-earned wages don't count for monumental dollars that are put back into this local economy. They do. It is one thing to cut fat out of a budget. I don't believe in wasteful spending. It's another thing when you cut bone and tendon. And if we don't address this issue today and we kick the can down the road, that's not leadership. That is short-sightedness. That's not about the next 50 or 100 years, but about the next 3.5 years to the next election. And the people that don't want this tax, run for office. That's your constitutional right. You go file and you run. You file. But I'll tell you one thing, and these 7 men up here, I am personally very offended by the blatant double standard that not all, but some people possess in this county. Some in the business community, you know, I noticed the Southeast Kentucky Chamber of Commerce is on the record against this proposal. Well, they claim they represent about every county from Lawrence to Letcher, I believe. They changed the name of their organization. Well, I don't know whether they've studied it very hard, but Johnson County, Martin County, Magoffin County, all in their service region, have imposed an occupational tax. Now, are they going to go into those counties and tell their fiscal court, repeal, repeal, repeal? But the biggest double standard at play locally is that without a shred of a doubt, the 2% occupational tax implemented by the city of Pikeville has given Pikeville everything it could want except golden streets and, well, they may even have a few of those. But if that 2% has worked so well for the city of Pikeville, who incidentally pays their senior official about $30,000 or around that more than Judge Deskins makes. City Manager Pikeville represents 7,000 people, makes $130,000 a year. Bill Deskins represents 65,000 and makes about 100. These magistrates in their individual districts represent more people in a single district than the entire population of the city of Pikeville. Pike County is unlike any other county in this 120 Commonwealth. It is the largest in land area, almost 800 square miles. It's in the top 15 in population with about 65,000 people. And it's got more miles of county-maintained roads by far than any other county in this state. Contained within the budget that these men are going to have to approve
It's the budget of this county is more than just numbers and facts and figures. It's the human faces of this county. It's these senior citizens. It's these county workers. It's these firefighters. Friends, the cost of doing this is far lesser than the cost of not doing it. Let's give 1% for 100% of Pike County's progressive future. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Danny Branham Jr.
I ain't much of a talker, but it wouldn't matter after he got done. But there's one thing I know here today. I wouldn't have nary one of you's job. Not today I wouldn't. And they holler a $48,000 salary. And as far as I know, we still live in a free country. And in about 3 years, another election will come about. And there's nobody to keep you from signing your name on a paper and telling that you want to run for a master or you want to run for a judge. It's easy to persecute them after they get here, but until you sit in their seat, Let me tell you something. I ain't much of a talker, and I ain't got no big speech put together, but I'm a human, and I'm just an old holler boy from the head of a holler. Now, me and my wife both works, and this tax is going to affect both of us, and I'd be standing here lying if I said that I like to pay taxes. There ain't nobody in this room want to pay taxes, but I like the services that I get. Now hold your paws down, because I just got 10 minutes. When my house catches on fire, I want to know that there's a fire department equipped, that's got about 10 men that's equipped, that's got enough water in the tank, because I know you don't like it, but that's fine. And the lady that got up and walked out, they tell me she's a union representative. I hope to God that if I'm ever in trouble, she ain't around to represent me. If I ain't paying no attention to your sign. Let me tell you something. When I'm at the house and my house is broke into, I don't want to see Barney 5 pull up in my driveway. I want to see somebody equipped enough to take care of what they're there for. Now, you men, each and every one of you, these boys right here has got the decision to make today that can change it all. Let me tell you something. I heard an old lady come in Bobby Varney's office yesterday. She's an educator. She's worked all of her life, and she goes over to the Belfry Senior Citizens. She told Bobby Varney, I ain't going to give her name. She's been an educator all her life, but let me tell you what she sat there and said, that's all she's got. She said, if it wasn't for that, I'd stay at the house and I'd go crazy. She spent all of her life, Kenneth, educating children. Now, let me tell you something. Her husband died of cancer. Her only daughter she's got's died of cancer. She's got a son that's hundreds of miles away. The only thing she's got's that center. She gets to go there. She gets to eat. She gets to have fellowship and play games, and she's got friends. And without that, she said, I'd go crazy. God help us here in Pike County if we're so stingy and selfish that we don't want to take a penny out of a dollar and give it for services like I'm talking about here today. And they tell me, and in this county, this is what's happening in Pike County. This ain't the same county I was born and raised in, because you got northerners coming from the north, and they come here in the hills of Kentucky, and they want to tell us how to live. Hey, what's the matter with them? Now, I don't know about you, but I'm proud to be called a hillbilly. Now, Kenneth, I got a whole lot to say, and me and you may have to finish this after the court because I ain't got time to say it all. I can tell you about the equipment, the time I've worked for the county, and I can tell you about the equipment we got and how far down it. Listen, when all this come about, I thought, baby, I've been here for 12 years, but I can see the sunny side now. I know these people talk about county workers, but they ain't talking about us 3 o'clock in the morning when we're out there clearing the roads. It's easy to stand around and talk about the potholes down the holler, but what about when they're out 2 o'clock in the morning, it's pouring the rain and it's storming, and they're cutting or cleaning up a slide out of the middle of the road? And these guys ain't had a raise in 9 years. Now you want to take it all away. You know what? Let me tell you something. It's easier to say, well, we'll lay off this and this and this and this. That's $300,000, and we'll lay off this and this and this. That's another $150,000, and we'll make the budget. But then in the seniors, who cares if we eat the bottom of the thing? That's easy. That's an easy way to do it. God help us to be so stingy and selfish that we don't want to. You know what? They booed him out of the house the other day, Jeff Anderson, but he's right. This water board's going to increase 159%. And if they'd had a crowd like this, maybe it wouldn't happen, but how many of you was over there? How about our union representative? Was she over there? Huh? No, but it's easy to come here and eat these boys up because they're sitting out in the open where you can get to them and they'll answer your questions. You can look at their books. Oh, it's quiet now. Go ahead and let them raise it. I'll pay the 159%, but I'm not going to give a penny to every dollar to see the senior citizens that's worked and labored and taught us and raised us up and made a way for us. Hey, we don't want to apply a place for them no more. Honey, you missed it going a long time ago. Yeah, I'll dress you, brother. Listen, it's high time that we stand up and give an account for what we're going to do in this. Are we going to go forward? Or are we going to stop? You've seen a river when it runs, how smooth and pretty it is, but when it stops, it'll stagnate and stink. I say let's move forward. Tim Wimpson, come here a minute. I want to do one thing. I want to tell you one thing, then I'm going to sit down. As far as I know, and I don't know because I've not seen the list of the Cubs, but this is my mower, man. I don't know of a better Christian man or worker than Tim Winston. That's right. Yes. Now, every time there's a layoff, they say, we're going to get rid of our mower man. Now, Tim's been about 15 or 16 years to the county. He's 57 years old. He ain't got nowhere to go, folks. That's right. I hope you don't get mad at me, but I'm going to tell you something about a year. I'm just tell you what kind of fella he is. About a year and a half ago, Tim had a battle with cancer. He had how many treatments? He had 43. Now, see, those people's got a tendency to talk about county workers. He took 43 chemo treatments and never missed a day's work. Is it easier just to shove him back and cut him off? I wouldn't want to have to make the decision these guys is going to make here today. But the last thing I'm going to do is talk about them. And I'm not going to bash you and I'm not going to mistreat you. I wouldn't want to sit there today and have to make this decision. Whatever it is, I love you. I'm like Tim Wimpson. I love you. And whatever it is, it is. But I sure would like to see this county keep moving forward. Before I sit down, I want to say something. They tell me that 9 dedicated, sold-out people if you can get that many, you can have a president elected in the United States of America. And after what we've had for the last few years, I kind of believe that. But let me tell you what happened. We had 7 people come in this courtroom last Thursday, and they turned this courtroom upside down. Now, how many of you is for that tax? You ought to stand to your feet and applaud and let this court know where you stand today.
What did he say then?
Time's up. Time's up. Time's up.
Well, I believe it's my turn to speak a little. As you know, I'm a senior citizen, only 85 years old. I wanted to go fishing, but I decided to work for the county and do the job, and I inherited this mess, as you know. And I decided myself, I don't believe my political friends that tried to get me to run, I don't blame them. I made my own decision. I made a lot of decisions for myself, and there are other things. And I asked for this job, but I didn't think it'd be as many brick walls as I've run into. So I have decided to do it, and I feel that I have to look at the whole picture of the county. And in doing that, I have to do what I have to do. The county needs some things, the senior citizens need things, the firemen association needs things, so that the insurance won't keep raising their insurance. There's so many things out there that needs to be done. And I took the oath of office, put my hand on a Bible, and I'm going to follow that oath of office. I'm going to do my job the best I can. And this thing that's coming up here, if it gets one vote, they got mine. We have to do what we have to do for the people of the county. Does the magistrates have any comments? Chick, you have any comments? I don't have any. Leo?
Well, to me, there's so many things needed in this county. You know, equipment, and we've had 3 national disasters declared. FEMA has not given a total on it either, but when they do, this county's got to come up with 13%. 530,000. But anyway, the county's got to come up with 13% of anything that they help us with, and that's not there. But for this county to go forward, you know, I believe it has to be done.
I hate to put taxes on anybody, but we need equipment. All our equipment is about 20 or 30 years old, or they're older than that. And it's all wore out, and we need to help the senior citizens and take care of our employees.
Yeah. Jeff, you had?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, this afternoon, and whether you're for the tax or against it. You know, like Danny Branham said earlier, you know, we live in a democracy, and this is what it's all about. And, you know, there's people that are against the tax, and I understand it, and I have no ill feelings towards anyone. And, you know, we have people that are for it. But this county has to move forward. And I feel as strongly about passing the tax as I do some other issues I have. And I've thought about it, and I've laid down at night, and I've prayed, I've talked to people, and yes, it's a tax, and yes, it's a penny. And we can debate it, you know, until the cows come home, literally. But, you know, Pike County is unique in many respects. And I think we have to do the responsible thing. And it would be irresponsible if we don't pass the tax.
Good.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to say further, nobody knows, even when we pass it, nobody knows how much it will bring in this year. But if we got a surplus and stuff like that, we can look at it next year, but we're hoping to see other avenues for revenue to come in. But still, it's 1 year at a time, you know. But we need it now, though.
Judge, it does me good to see all these people here. This is probably one of the best meetings that I've been in 22 years. And you know, we need more of this. We need y'all's voices heard. And good or bad, you know, after we leave here today, we're still going to be neighbors, and we're still going to be friends, and we're going to have to look at one another every day. Whether we make a good decision or a bad decision, you know, we've got to wear it. And that's why they pay us to make these decisions. This is one of the hardest decisions that we've had before this court. And, you know, like some of them said, we've kicked the can down the road for many years. And Ronnie, you know, you just want to know why your fire department was cut. It was cut because we had to balance the budget. And that's what we're into again here today. And the people don't realize that these men you see you're sitting beside of each day are the ones that we see go out in zero weather, and they pick your garbage up, and they have rats run up their arms. I've been there, I've done it, and it's not a pleasant thing. You know, we need to take our hat off every time we see one of them. Or when you see snow 18 to 20 inches in front of your house, and we see our men out there working, plowing the roads, and taking care of the services that you need to get to the hospitals or the grocery stores. These men are the men that you see here today. They're the working people that are paying as well as everybody else. And they have no problem with paying 1%. And while they were working for $9 and $10 and $11 an hour, Doug, our coal companies were paying the other people $25 and $30 an hour. But they suffered through that, and they worked hard. And people talk about them and say they don't do a good job, but, you know, they're some of the best. We have some of the best in Pike County that we can look at. And I've sat here for 3 days and took criticism and blame, and that's why they pay me. And if you guys want this job, run for it, and you'll see what it's like. When you get a call at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, so we've got a tree down, or we have a slide, we can't get in and out. We have to go to the service to the people, and we always call our workers that you see out here, and they put a crew together, and they go do that job, so you can go to the doctors and hospitals and the grocery stores. And, you know, we are just so tired of being abused and blamed for trying to do the right thing for Pike County. And our budget, we knew was getting bad every year, but we got thrown a curveball this year. Our coal severance tax stopped, and we only asked to be treated like every other county in the state of Kentucky. but Pike County was singled out on our coal severance money. We got no money for projects like debt service or our senior citizens. You know, I'm sorry, seniors, that y'all are drug into this. You know, you shouldn't have to be here. But y'all had $100,000 on top of the senior citizens account to be given to you through our coal severance. It was stopped. They said, no, we can't give that to them. And our debt service, we can't let you use that to pay the debts. So we have to look at other alternatives. And I don't want to pay no taxes, but I've got 4 people in my family that will be paying this tax. All the court members will be paying this tax. You know, regardless of what you hear, we still have to pay our tax. And this thing can be revisited at any time. If it is doing good later on, we can look at it, and if coal severance starts coming in, we can cut this back or whatever it takes. But right now, I just want you people to bear with us and know that we are in a bad situation. And like some of the fire chiefs said earlier, if they cut your fire rating out and you get that big increase from a 5 to a 10, and your insurance jumps up $400 or $500 every 6 months, don't come and blame me for it, because that's going to happen if this tax don't pass. And you know, if you guys want this job, go get it. And I can wish you well and help you, but I've done everything I can do and listen to everybody I can hear. But you know, the people that's called and concerned were the businesses. The working people out here working has not said anything. One lady told me, she said, I make $300 a week. She said, that's $3 I got to pay. And she said, I can't go buy a slushie for that. You know, that's a hard-working woman. $300 a week is what she makes. And she didn't care to pay the taxes, but she wants to see our county go. And I've been able to see 3 senior citizen centers being built in my district, which I am very, very proud of. And our seniors and our children are the people we need to look at. And we get criticized for a swimming pool or a park. What do they want our kids to do? Throw rocks at each other? But you know, we are just as good as they are down in the state of this state in Frankfurt or anywhere. And they've got ball fields down there that cost $500,000 or $1 million. And we don't have them things, and we're trying to get caught up for you people. Our seniors and our children are number one. And our workers, you know, they're to be commended. And every time you see one, you need to thank him for going out and doing the job. Jump on me. They pay me for that. I don't care. I can take it. Call me and cuss me out. I don't care. I'll pray for you, and I hope the Lord will forgive you. But I think we got to pass this tax. And if we don't, pass it, we can forget about it. Our county is going to go like other parts of the state. You'll see it dwindling away, and you won't be able to get out of the house. Thank you, and have a good night.
Judge, I do want to thank each and every one of y'all for showing up here this evening, and it speaks volumes about you, your character and everything. A person's character is not what they plan to do. A person's character is what they do. And, you know, you're standing up for what you want to do. The people that oppose it, I want to thank you for coming out. You all have brought up some valid points, some real good questions that we need to question ourselves as masters, as stewards of the money. You really have. But now, I feel myself the luckiest man in the world to be born in a place that we can come together like this and meet like this and say these things. America is the greatest country that there ever was and ever will be. And you know, in that country, I was double blessed to be born in a place called Kentucky. And I'm proud of Kentucky. And then in that state of Kentucky, I was born in a place called Pike County. A lot of people A lot of people in the state will tell you it's the back door. They're looking at it backwards. Pike County's the front door. With that, I am real proud of you all. Them senior citizens back there, one of the ladies said something about her golden years and she hadn't seen no gold. I see gold when I see every one of them senior citizens. And yes, Danny Branham is my road foreman, and I'm proud of him too. We've got a tough decision. Nobody wants to pay. I don't want to pay taxes. But I feel that this is the thing for us to do today for Pike County to move forward. Thank you, Judge.
Judge, very briefly, I want to make one comment. A statement was made this evening by one of the speakers, and I'm sure I know the lady and love her and respect her, but it's a misstatement of fact that was reported, unfortunately, in our local paper in an op-ed piece, that this court and the county attorney's office didn't know what was in this ordinance enacting the tax. It's been compared to Obamacare, that Congress didn't know what was in it.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, that is ridiculous. This ordinance is 15 pages long. The Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, if you will, as passed by Congress and signed into law, weighs in at 906 pages. Now, the nearly 11,000 pages of regulation for this one law alone would reach 3 feet high if you made the mistake of printing it. Now, our ordinance is 15 pages. The county attorney's office knows what's in it. This court knows what's in it. Now, where did it come from? I didn't sit around and dream it up. I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. As assistant county attorney, the city of Pikeville has had an occupational tax for several years. It's 2%, as you all know. And if you pay 1% or more to the city, you won't pay anything to the county. The city of Pikeville's ordinance was used by this county in drafting its ordinance. It's almost word for word identical to an ordinance that's been working and working well in the city of Pikeville. Now, where did the city of Pikeville come up with this? Well, here is something called the model ordinance. The Commonwealth of Kentucky Department of Revenue gave all counties and cities this who were contemplating adopting an act. It's nearly identical to ours. So this notion that we don't know what's in it, that this court doesn't know what's in it, the county attorney doesn't know what's in it, is just flat out wrong. Just out of curiosity, I went to I Googled this. At 70, I've learned to Google. But in any event, there are, I think, 77 counties that have an occupational tax. Many more are now looking at it, I understand. And numerous cities across the Commonwealth have one, as does the city of Pike. Well, I just pulled up 3. The city of Flemingsburg, some of you all know where that is. The county of McCreary, their occupational tax. The city of Springfield, Kentucky, down in central Kentucky. They're all about 15 pages long. Ours has 14 sections. I was looking at the city of Springfield. Guess what? How many sections it has? 14. Those sections are identical to what we have in our proposed ordinance. So we do know what's in it. It's not like Obamacare. It's not 905 pages. It's 15 pages. And there's not 11,000 pages, 3 feet, of regulations that go with it. I just wanted to make that clear, Judge. One of the many things that have been misstated about the effect of this tax. Thank you, Judge.
I need a motion to adopt an ordinance for occupational license fee tax by persons and business entities.
Judge, if I may, you'll notice on the agenda that's an emergency adoption of proposed ordinance, and the following item is also an emergency adoption. Judge, The Kentucky Revised Statute addresses this idea of emergency adoption. It's in KRS 67.078. And I want to read to you from subparagraph number 2 of that statute so that the public and this court is aware of what an emergency adoption is all about and the statutory authority for doing that. It states as follows: a majority of the fiscal court may declare an emergency to exist by naming and describing the emergency, and thereafter may adopt a county ordinance to address that emergency without regard to the requirements of KRS 67.077. Now, just briefly, all that is it requires for an ordinance 2 readings, publication, and so forth. So this provision does away with that requirement. So what this court needs to do, Judge, is adopt the following resolution. Listen closely, members of the court, because I'll ask for a motion, a second, a majority vote at the conclusion of reading what the resolution would entail. It's a resolution declaring that an emergency exists, to wit, the requirements under Kentucky law that a balanced budget be filed by 11:59 p.m. this very evening, the last day of June. Otherwise, if that is not done, county government will shut down at midnight this evening. And if this happens, the county cannot legally pay its debts, and the county employees could not legally be paid. That is the emergency. I ask this court to adopt that resolution pursuant to Kentucky law so that it may act on these next 2 agenda items as emergencies.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dotson?
Yes.
Mr. Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskin?
Yes.
Judge, the next item, if I may, with your permission, I'll just proceed on since I've got my mic open, is the emergency adoption of a proposed ordinance adopting an occupational license fee tax by persons and business entities conducting businesses, occupations, and professions within the county of Pike. I'm going to read this as a first, second reading, and it'll be up for final passage. I will read it in summary form. It's actually had 2 readings before. I read the entire ordinance of 15 pages. It's single spaced, by the way, and it would take me 25 to 30 minutes. Kentucky law permits me to summarize this ordinance. It's an occupational license fee/tax, County of Pike, Kentucky. Ordinance number blank, an ordinance relating to the imposition and administration of an occupational license requirement and payment of an occupational license fee/tax by persons and business entities conducting businesses, occupations, and professions within the County of Pike, Kentucky. It has 14 sections, Judge. I'm going to read those briefly. But suffice it to say, in summary form, it does oppose a 1% occupational tax on gross wages. It does impose a 1% business license tax on net profits of businesses in Pike County. It has 14 sections. Number 1, definitions. Number 2, license application required. Number 3, occupational license tax payment required. Number 4, apportionment. Number 5, employers to withhold. Number 6, returns required. Number 7, extensions. Number 8, refunds. Number 9, federal audit provisions. Number 10, administrative provisions. Number 11, information to remain confidential. Number 12, penalties. Number 13, use of occupational license tax. Number 14, severability. That is the first and second reading, Judge, of this ordinance on an emergency basis. It will require a motion, a second, and a majority vote of this court.
For adoption. Wait, let me get this. Say for adoption.
I need a motion.
I'll make the motion, Judge Deskins.
Let the record be clear, it's a motion for adoption of this tax.
Need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Master Anderson?
Yes.
Master Johnson?
Yes.
Master Murphy?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Dodson?
Yes.
Master Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
I think you'll let Danny.
Judge, if I may continue on the next item, that would be the emergency adoption of the 2015-2016 budget to be effective July the 1st, 2015. If this court votes to approve it by majority vote, we have to have it in Frankfurt. Our treasurer does by 11:59 tonight. Her work is cut out. She can do that by either email or fax, but so we don't have to deliver it personally down there, and the county government can go on tomorrow. That budget in summary form, Madam Treasurer, where is it?
I need a motion.
Got his cell phone number, and he said I can scan and email it as soon as
Yeah.
Rose.
Where is it? Hold it. I need the budget here.
Did Rose make a copy?
I don't see it.
Are you ready for a motion?
I don't.
Nope.
Judge, could we take a brief recess while we get a copy of that budget? It's the same one that was proposed before.
Yeah.
Judge, if we need to get the budget done here. Well, let's do we need, the health care is in the budget, so let's do it next.
Approval for the renewal of health RX and vision insurance, and approval for adding dental insurance July the 1st, 2015. I need a motion.
Motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Master Anderson?
Yes.
Master Johnson?
Yes.
Master Murphy?
Okay, didn't I hear that the dental will be free for the worker? Okay, yes.
We're adding the dental and for July 1, and it's free to the employee. In the next week, we're going to get with Kelly. If y'all would like to speak with him he's here on behalf of us through the CAECO plans to address any questions. And he said we'd get on a conference call tomorrow and try and get somebody in here in the next week or so to get them signed up if they wish to buy it for their dependents and their spouses and have it payroll deducted for that above that. Plus, this also includes in the budget the FEBCO card, the $1,200 that we had said was going to do also.
Treasurer's business, Jonda. Okay.
We got a second and a motion.
Judge?
Roll call, please.
Wait, John Doug's got to do.
We got something.
No, go ahead and have your roll call, and let's dispose of that.
Master Anderson?
Yes.
Master Johnson?
Yes.
Master Murphy?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Dodson?
Yes.
Master Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Need to go, Judge, now to the emergency adoption of the 2015-2016 budget to be effective July the 1st, 2015. That will be done under the same emergency resolution declaring an emergency that the court has already passed. Judge, I'm going to read the proposed budget in the summary form. This is the budget of the Pike County Fiscal Court summary analysis of appropriations fiscal year 2015-2016. From the general fund, or in the general fund, total general fund of $10,105,554. Total road fund, in the road fund, $8,603,469. Jail fund, total jail fund, $4,883,214. Local government economic assistance fund, total LGEA fund, $4,808,197. Federal grants, total federal grant fund, $0. Forest Fire Protection Fund, total forestry fund, $30,308. Solid Waste Fund, total solid waste fund, $6,473,204. Special fund, LGEDF recaptured fund, total LGEDF fund, $452,985. Special fund, maintenance garage fund, total maintenance garage fund, $1,433,944. The total budgeted appropriation, grand total of all those funds is $36,790,875.
I need a motion.
Now, Judge, I need to move to the other side of the ledger very quickly here to the estimated receipts, Pike County Fiscal Court estimated receipts, fiscal year 2015-2016. Total estimated total available grand total of all receipts from all sources, $36,790,875. So that is a balanced budget. That is the emergency reading, Judge, in summary form. I hope I got it all, Madam Treasurer, that I need to. This will constitute the first, second reading and the final passage. It'll require a motion and a majority vote of this court.
Motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Jessica?
Yes.
Judge, I need to add for the record that this budget was submitted to the state local finance officer as required by law, submitted on June the 2nd, 2015, and was approved as to form and classification on June the 15th, 2015, by Robert O. Brown, State Local Finance Officer, and I wanted to make sure the record said that. Thank you.
Motion.
Oh, we're good. We've already voted.
Oh, okay. Next is treasurer's business, Jonathan.
Authorize any necessary transfers and interfund transfers to pay the bills, payroll, health, and life insurance.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Jessica?
Yes.
Pass over the next two items. I'd like for the Assistant County Attorney to have the first, second adoption of an emergency budget amendment ordinance number 5 for the fiscal year 2014-2015 for the close of the fiscal year, and the requirements for publishing and adopting are not able to be met in order to have some transfers into a couple of funds in order to pay payroll this week without you all having to come back tomorrow.
Motion.
Let the record reflect, Judge, that we're doing this pursuant to the same resolution declaring an emergency that the court earlier adopted for the reasons stated by our treasurer. This would be Pike County Fiscal Court Budget Amendment number 5, an ordinance relating to the fiscal year 2014-2015 annual budget and amendment thereof. Whereas the Pike County Fiscal Court has realized unbudgeted receipts from the following funds, be it ordained by the Pike County Fiscal Court of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1, which is receipts of the general road, solid waste, jail, maintenance, garage, and LGEA funds of a total of amended revenues of $307,890.87. That is Section 1, Part A, receipts, and Section 1, Part B, appropriations, in the same amount. Total amended appropriations, $307,890.87. It will now require a motion, a second, and a majority vote.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Bernie?
Yes.
Judge Jessica?
Yes.
We received through fax on 6/26 from Public Entity Insurance that they haven't received a signed renewal form for the accident policies that the animal shelter currently has in place. They renew tomorrow. It's for our volunteers accident policy, which is $100 and a membership fee of $140 for a total of $240 for the year. And I need the judge to be able to renew the animal shelter volunteer public accident policy and to issue a check in the amount of $240.
Need a motion.
Motion.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Bernie?
Yes.
Judge Jessica?
Yes.
The grant that was issued March 2015 emergency grant for elimination of illegal open dumps following the March 2015 flood. We received the 20, but based on the receipts that were submitted, we have to return back $12,187.48 of unspent emergency open dump grant funds to Lisa G. Evans, Grant Administrator, Division of Waste Management. So I need authorization to go ahead and issue that check.
Motion.
Judge, I got a question on that. I hate giving back money they give to us. Why,
Whatever you all want to do.
what was the deal there?
Judge, I'm brain dead, more so than
Okay,
you.
Bobby, as
More so than usual,
we
brain.
received, I think it's $20,000, and on the flood debris cleanup, on what we had done, we can just collect on, what we turned in at the landfill, and then also some that was taken in from down at Coal Run, that was through Leron Industries. And that's just all our receipts totaled and on what tonnage that we had, and we didn't have enough to total up for $20,000. That's what it was.
But as much garbage we got out there, Bob, and litter at them guys, I hate giving back money that they give us to pick up litter.
Yeah, well, this year could only be used for the flood debris cleanup that was coming along there in March is all
right.
that we could use it for.
I'm sorry, Bobby, that also counts co-run, correct? I know we
Yes,
had an
yes.
issue going on there
Yes.
with the residents.
Yes.
Not only what's the provider there?
Leron Industries.
Levon, I know we talked to them, but we also had residents that went to the landfill. Was they accounted for as well?
Yeah, they would have been counted. I don't know whether we had any receipts on those or not. I don't remember on that, so.
Need a roll call.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Bernie?
Yes.
Judge Jessica?
Yes.
Need approval to pay Walker Appraisals when the monies are received for NRCS for technical review of an appraisal for Brenda Guzlin, an amount of $800.
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Bernie?
Yes.
Judge Jessica?
Yes.
Under additional treasurer's business, I need a check issued to the United States Postmaster to open a box for the Occupational Tax Administrator's Office. I think it won't go over $300, so let's make it $325 to open a box.
Motion.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Bernie?
Yes.
Judge Jessica?
Yes.
I have no further business, Judge. I'm finished.
All righty. County Attorney's report.
I have nothing, Judge.
I'll take a motion for adjournment.
Judge, are we gonna let the insurance guy speak a minute. Was that what you said, John?
If you all want him to.
I mean,
Kelly-
it's up to the court. I
Kelly's
see
been
him
very
back there.
gracious and spent the night to be here to help us if we had any issues and everything.
Kelly, come on down.
Come on down.
Come on down.
While you were coming, I guess you got this, where there'll be no increase on there.
I thought I was going to get lucky.
Flat rate?
Actually, last year, as you remember, we had a 0% increase, which, by the way, in my 15 years, I've only done that 3 or 4 times. This year, we started out with a 15%, got it down to an 8%, and ended up with a 5%. So 5%, if you average that over 2 years, that's a 2.5% increase, which is well below the national average of about 8%. So we've done very well over the last 2 years. And that's in no small part to the employees doing a good job of being careful how they use their medical. So we've had a very good year. We did go out and look at the market, and Humana came back and said they couldn't compete. We never got anything back from Bluegrass Family Health, which typically says they couldn't compete with Anthem. United Healthcare did come back with a quote. They do something called predatory pricing, which means basically no matter what Anthem does, they're going to be just a shade under it. In every case where we've taken that number, the next year we followed up with huge increases. I'll give you an example. Logan County Fiscal Court, we took them to United Healthcare last year away from Anthem for a 0% increase. This year they had a 19% increase, and we took them back to Anthem for a 0. So they went full circle back around. So Anthem this year continues to be the best option for the fiscal court, from my opinion. We did see a slight uptick in utilization. That's the reason we didn't get away with a 0 again. I think you probably had copies of my report, but last year we had a utilization of about 66%, which is extremely low, which is why we could get a 0%. This year we're up to around, and I'm doing this from memory, around a 77 or 78, which is still very good, but we had to have a small increase because we'll have medical inflation over the next 12 months. That'll keep us from setting ourselves up for a huge increase next year, so we can continue to have a number we can budget towards.
Kelly, the only problem we're having is at $2,500 out of pocket for our employees is pretty stiff, and we're hoping that we can get that down to where we can. It wouldn't be so tough on them, in the future.
Right, and I would love to be able to say that I could find a better policy for the same money. Unfortunately, the market's just saying that that's where we are. We offer 3 plans, and the employees can buy up to a second and third plan, which is a better plan, but they pay the difference to go up to that. We only have, and again, I'm doing this from memory, it's in my report, I think we have 5 people that buy up. So the majority of the employees, that is a $2,500 is a stiff number. And of course, you're going to have the $1,200 HRA money this year, which will help offset that. And if I could find a better policy for the money, certainly I'd be glad to do that. We know that healthcare reform, a lot of us know it as Obamacare has put additional pressure on the premiums. There's a lot of fees built into that now that we're all having to pay. And so to be able to stay where we are at a 0 and a 5%, 2.5% over 2 years has just been, I don't have a single another account statewide that's like that. Would love to find a better policy for the money. It just right now, for the money, I can't find it in the Commonwealth.
Kelly. We're one of your better customers, so try to take care of us for next year.
I'll do everything I can.
We were pushing buttons right at the last minute, which you've seen here, that we were having it tough.
Well, I can tell you that Anthem appreciates your business, and every year they work extra hard to try to cut everywhere they can to meet your budgetary needs. I can say that they work hard for all our accounts, but again, you guys see me, I travel the Commonwealth doing this, and I don't have any other customer they work as hard for. So I can promise you that Anthem is looking at every way they can to keep the numbers as low as possible.
Kelly, one question, if you don't care. I know
yes,
me and you and John and Bill spent some time together, and we've discussed this, and I'm kind of up to par with it quite a bit. One of the things I'd like for you to talk about is the deductible. If the policy had changed, how would that affect the deductible that's already been met?
Meaning if we'd move to a different
If we move to a different company,
Yeah.
I mean.
One of the challenges we have in that fiscal courts, obviously, as we all know tonight, run on a fiscal year July through June. But the deductibles and the max out-of-pockets run on a calendar year, January through December. So what would happen in every case when we move to a different carrier, The deductible portion, the 2,500, we would get a credit for that going to the new carrier. Now, that may take 45 days to hit, but eventually we would see a credit for that. However, the co-insurance, that's the portion paid at 20%. That's the remaining $2,500. There's no credit for that. So anybody that had paid toward that or met that number essentially loses that and starts over again July 1, which runs through December 31st, and then it would hit them again starting January 1st. So those folks that are having some need to utilize their insurance gets really a double whammy, if you will, because they would have to hit that second $2,500 again, that second half of the year, and then it would start over again January 1st. No carriers in the Commonwealth will offer a credit for the co-insurance. Almost all of them will do a credit for the deductible, but you will not see a credit for the co-insurance.
Well, moving forward, if you find a policy that's less expensive than what we have now, how can this court make its decision earlier? I mean, what can we do moving forward to help that situation?
Well, you know, we start very early. We met, 4 months ago? We began this process very, very early, looking at where we are, started talking about where you are in the budget. We start looking at the utilization numbers. And the first thing we look at is the numbers coming back from Anthem fair or not? Or do they make sense compared to what our utilization? You know, if we have 110% utilization, meaning we use more than what we paid in, we clearly are prepared for a much larger increase. If we're at low utilization like we've been the last couple of years, we look for a low number. So first thing is where we start in that. So some underwriting starts right here with us. Then we decide whether or not it makes sense to go out to the marketplace and look around. So we begin that process and looking at what the market has to say, and unfortunately we're limited to basically 4 carriers in the state right now. If we find something less expensive, then we have to factor in certainly the premium, because that has a direct effect on the court, but we also have to factor in the effect to the employee, which we just talked about with that co-insurance. To get this done a little quicker, you know, again, we started this 4 months ago, and I think this ties into your budget process, so I'm not sure that we can do it a whole lot quicker other than tying it into your budget, because until you have a budget, it's hard for you guys to know what you can and can't do for your employee base. So I can tell you, though, that we start 4 to 5 months early beginning the process, so that when we get to this point, we've turned over every stone there is to turn over and make sure we found the best value. I can always find you something cheaper, but cheaper does not mean a good value. You know, I can find you a cheap plan, but then when the employees start using it, they're going to find lots of holes in it. And so we want to look at the value for the dollar is what we try to do. I don't know if I answered that question or not.
You did. No, I just don't think there's any way, really, Arlie.
It's very difficult, you know, to do the process and to get it here early enough for you guys to make good decisions, and then again, you have to tie it into your budget process as well. But we start very early in the process. I'm in constant contact with Jonda throughout the year, and we have several meetings throughout the year, but we begin the renewal process about 5 months before renewal. So by January, February, we're talking about this and already beginning to have meetings, a number of meetings. And then, of course, it gets more complicated. Healthcare reform, as you all know, has brought down a huge number of new laws and requirements. And so I spend a lot of my time now spent with Jonda helping us to stay compliant and aware of the laws and the changes so that we can keep you guys compliant with and out of trouble with the feds when it comes to the changes with healthcare reform. So
Hey, Kelly, we just hired her back for another year, so she's going to be with us.
that's good. That's good.
I wanted to thank you too, Kelly. I know you probably come down Sunday.
Yes, sir.
You probably come down Sunday, didn't you?
I came down Sunday. Yes, sir, I did.
I know you was prepared to come down and stay one night, and we spoke yesterday. I apprappreciate you hanging out, being here for us today.
It's my pleasure. It's a privilege to come and work with Pike County Fiscal Court. And I can say that as I've worked with the employees, and tonight got to sit with them, great bunch of people, it's one of my favorite places to come to. So thank you so much.
Well, one of the things, Kelly, you'd mentioned before is if we could find that window I didn't realize it was an option to change your deductible year. You said you can run it concurrent with our fiscal year.
We could, yes. You can have, and it used to be not. Up until maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the deductibles were required to run January through December. The carriers finally figured out that not everybody runs their plan year on that same calendar year. So we can change at some point to a July through June deductible, so that it aligns with your plan year. Unfortunately, what that means, we got 6 months, and then it resets. So you would go January through June 30th, we'd have to restart back at 0. And so the challenge is, how do we do that so that it doesn't hurt the employee base, those ones that are utilizing and needing their health insurance? But at the same time, if we did that, it would make the transition over to a different carrier much, much less painful. And that's a challenge that not just this fiscal court, but every fiscal court I work with, we've struggled with. I've had a few that have made the change, and they've just put extra money out there to try to offset some of that. But it's a struggle.
And I know up until probably 10 or 12 years ago, our renewal ran from April to March 31st. So if we got hit with a big 2 months starting with a new premium, that's why we finally transitioned it into July 1 through June 30th, so we know exactly what to budget and not have to worry about trying to find money at the end when the renewal comes due. And Kelly, this is Kenneth Robinson. I have been in conversation with you concerning some of his stuff.
Exactly. I'll stay afterwards and speak with you. I've been working on that. So.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you so much.
Adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Judge, I got one thing.
Okay.
We got a meeting scheduled for Tuesday, and John, do we need to be back here Tuesday for this next week?
Yeah, because I don't know if I can time the payroll with getting transfers and stuff made before the next court meeting to pay the second payroll and get the Blue Cross and all that stuff going.
I know we met a lot this week, and if we didn't have a whole lot, I was just wondering about what the other guys thought.
Well, if you you just need a quorum. I mean, if 4 of us.
It's a holiday weekend too, and some people might be wanting to.
Usually a vacation week for most people, but not me.
Unfortunately, that's why I did this, was to try and get some money left over as surplus so that we can pay the payroll tomorrow. So the payroll's going to hit in between court meetings, and if I don't have that next one, I don't have enough money with what I carried forward as a surplus to carry from one payroll, so I'd need it to get approval to get the next payroll done.
Could we meet later on in the week, Jonda?
Pardon?
Could we meet later on in the week, or Monday,
Yeah.
a special meeting the Monday of the following week?
That's fine.
What y'all think?
It's fine with me.
Whatever day you need to.
I say if it,
It's from one fiscal year to the next.
I say if you connect payroll to it, just meet tomorrow.
Now, this payroll's covered, but if we meet the week from Monday on the 13th is fine, because payroll goes out that week.
But, that's all right.
According to what time they said it.
Are you on vacation?
Who fired that shot? That's all right.
Yeah, I think Jeff. I was gonna be going on vacation.
Next month.
Can we get a quorum for that Monday since some will be gone? I think if you all can be here and, okay. Yeah.
This Monday coming? Hey. This Monday coming? No. Oh, yeah.
John Doug, we have to get Rose to transcribe that order and get the judge to sign the emergency order, so I need you to stay so I can get that sent with the budget also.
That's fine. But I've got a question, Treasurer.
Well, you guys want 10 or 5:30? 10 o'clock?
Whatever y'all want to do.
Yeah, it'd be better 10 o'clock on Monday.
Huh?
No, we got 4 sets of minutes to do.
Friday?
What time did you come up with?
Off Friday, Jeff, that's a holiday.
Friday is a holiday. 4th comes on Saturday.
What time they gonna have it? What time?
Whatever time next week you want to, I don't care in the next 2 weeks, I just have to have it for the next pay run.
did you come up with on Monday, the 13th?
Anytime Monday.
11:30 Monday, call it 11:30, be done with it.
Be good.
11:30 Monday.
The 13th, the 13th.
Oh, I'll be gone.
I won't be here either, but
11:30 on that Monday, the 13th. You all be here?
Yeah, Bobby will be gone. I'll be here, be at Hall and Jones. I prefer not to miss a meeting. I've never missed a meeting.
I don't blame you.
I gotta publish this. Is it July 13th at 11:30?
Will you be here, Jeff?
I prefer not have it then.
Huh?
I've never missed a meeting.
Jeff won't be here and he don't wanna miss the meeting.
Oh,
Monday,
don't
can you
have
do
it.
it?
He hadn't missed
Can
a
you do it
meeting.
Thursday of this week?
Yeah, I think there'll be enough money to do it.
How about Thursday of this week? Everybody can be here Thursday? Of this week. John just said she's good with Thursday of this week. Day after tomorrow. Jeff can't be here.
Jeff's never been. He don't want to miss a meeting.
Don't want to miss. Now, you're here Thursday, ain't you?
Yeah.
Judge is here Thursday. So this Thursday,
Gonna make it for 2 or something?
Thursday, can we do it early, 11 a.m.?
Can you be ready, John?
Can you be
This
ready
Thursday?
Thursday at 11 a.m.?
Thursday 11, okay.
Thursday at 11.
Judge, if we've got that settled, I need to ask the treasurer one question.
Yes, sir.
You know, we heard all evening how people loved each other, and that's good. All I want to know from you and Magistrate Murphy, have you hugged one another this evening and told each other that you loved each other? Go over there and do that. All right. Yeah. I knew you guys loved one another. Thank you.
They still don't know. Thursday at what time?
Thursday at 11.
Thursday at 11, that's fine with me.
I
I didn't intend it to be started.
can, I can't get that in the paper.
I'm sorry, but.
I didn't know what was in here, I don't remember what it was.
It's over and done with, we don't need to revisit.
What, John, it's
Thursday, July 2nd at 11,
That's
right?
fine. Thursday, July 2nd at 11.
Yeah, Thursday.
Okay.
Can I get that in the paper that quick?
Me and John just had.
It's just been a roller coaster the last few days.
It's unreal. I've lost a lot of them.
That it? We done?
We're done.
We're done.
Are we done?
Minutes and Judge
Motion to
Sunday.
adjourn.
Motion.
Them court meetings in the hospital back up.
What do you mean, minutes?
I have to have that emergency order to
You make the
close
motion?
the budget
Yeah.
and the occupation.
I second.
Judge's got to sign.
Magistrate Anderson, Johnson, Murphy, Robinson, Dotson, and Barney.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.